All right, y'all. I don't know what just happened. I don't know what just happened. I don't know if I froze on y'all, but we back on like we was never off. So let me just get right into the energy so we could save any Q&A time. Um, so we was talking about Monday, and we're talking about the moon starting to trine Neptune. So yeah, when we look at trines, they create opportunities. So the moon is how we react and respond. Neptune is your imagination, your subconscious, but it also relates to the collective. Also relates to the subconscious of the collective. Deal with that, resonates with that 12th house energy. All right, Neptune deals with the creativity, your creative source within you, how you bring that out of yourself. Neptune has a spiritual influence, so it's going to deal with reflecting on your spiritual path, on your experiences. So with the moon trining Neptune, we're going to have the ability to connect to our imagination some more. Like this week is dealing with high creativity. Pisces season is already going to stimulate your creativity. But when we got Venus sliding up in here this week, and then we got this trine energy to start the week with Neptune, strong creative influence. People really wanting to, people really moving past writer's block this season, this week. And if you had any, people developing all different type of new creative ways to connect their imagination to the collective. A lot of connecting of your imagination some more. A lot of conversations and relating on the things you could do to get what you're creatively into from point A to B. So that's what we're dealing with Monday. All right, tomorrow. Then Tuesday, February 23rd, okay? The moon is going to be spending a day in Cancer while it's trining Neptune, so we're going to be experiencing that energy for the day. All right? A lot of harmonious, a lot of visions and potential harmonious connection with others relating to your creativity, relating to things revolving in your imagination. Great time to write things, even if you don't write things out. All right? It's a great time to start any type of journal work, tracking your dreams some more around this time. Okay. We also going to have on Tuesday moon sextile Mars in Taurus. All right. The moon in Cancer is going to sextile Mars in Taurus sometime in the afternoon. Okay. Christina, you already know the vibes, man. You know the Lucky Libra going to keep some vibes for y'all. You know we're going to keep some vibes for y'all. Y'all stay tuned into the spring, all right? Because the Lucky Libra will be dropping his old tracks, all right? So, yeah, we do it a lot in 2021. We do it a lot. But dealing with moon sextile and Mars. So, not only is the moon trining Neptune, creating opportunities to connect to our imagination, to develop more creative ideas with what we're working on, to see where we've made errors on things dealing with our spiritual path. When I picked up my journal for the first time in a minute yesterday. Look, Chachi, look, we tapping into connecting all different type of ways. We trying to add more songs to our playlist. We trying to do, everybody's going to be tapping into their source in some type of shape or form. This always rounds up, Pisces season always rounds up the energy. It's like you have to understand the neighbor signs. It's like a story. Is we know the planets are traveling. They're going through their spiritual travels and experiences. So that 12th house energy, that Pisces energy, is helping you cultivate your emotion and imagination, all your subconscious energy before you move into that new house space to give birth to something new. Okay. Yes, I sat by the water today and journaled for an hour. Look. So look how you guys are journaling and wanting to get this out. So this is easily going to trickle into situations where we may want to connect this to others now. That's why I'm saying it's going to be a heavy, intimate like season with Venus getting into Pisces. So as much as we want to connect, and as much as we're going to be connecting to ourselves in different ways, whether it's writing, whether it's any form of, self-reflection, meditation, whatever you may jump into, at the same time, when it comes to people, at the same time, we could lack any type of reality right now. We still got heavy Aquarius placements right now. But with all this water and air dealing with connection, Venus could drift us off into the subconscious, into the feel of things, into the illusion, into the potential of things. So when it comes to relating, connecting emotion with others, we just need to be wise with what we're doing. That's all. That's all the Lucky Libra is saying. You feel me? So with that moon sextile and Mars energy, now we're going to have some access to giving some emotional support towards our passions in Taurus. So moon sextile Mars, every time, all the aspects you guys have with your moon, understand, remember, this is who you are. These are your true gifts. All right. So the sextiles and trines hitting your moon, and if you have any planets conjunct your moon, these are like your powers and your gifts. Naturally, you don't work hard to do none of these things. So if you got moon, I have this placement, moon sextile Mars. So we know moon deals with reacting and responding. Mars is your passions, your goals, your willpower, your desires, your intentions. So somebody with moon sextile Mars, this is why for me, I don't be needing no inspiration. I don't be needing somebody to motivate me. I have moon sextile Mars. I know how to react and respond to my Mars, to my own passions. So when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing with my passions or whatnot, is nobody else to blame, because Mars makes it intentional. Mars makes it about your willpower. So you got Mars, moon sextile Mars, you more so fight off people trying to disturb your passions. Moon sextile Mars, moon trine Mars, moon conjunct Mars. These people are trying to fight others from trying to distract them from their passions for the most part. So, but this is the energy we about to have access to. We not looking at nothing playing out as boundaries right now. We not with Pisces energy tapping us into the creativity, into our imagination, into the subconscious. All right. And now we have moon sextile Mars with a water sign coming from Cancer, which initiates the vibe, starts the vibe. We starting a new vibe during this week with this energy, with how we deal with our passions. And that's making sure we react and respond to it and detach and cut off or create a space for that to be protected. All right. So things can't disturb with how you connect to your passions. So definitely a surge of motivation, trickling into the week as well. Now, so that energy is gonna come. That energy is like around like 11:13 a.m. So a little bit before the afternoon, and then towards the night we're gonna have moon opposing Pluto. So we got Pluto in late degrees Capricorn around like 26, 27 degrees Capricorn. And as the moon moves into the last decan of Cancer towards the nighttime, towards like that 22, 23 degree, is going to start to oppose Pluto. So it's going to have sextile from Mars. So we're going to be passionate about reacting and responding to the... Look at the way I fucking jerked my motherfucking arm up. Look like I was about to clap somebody. You feel me? But for the most part, we're going to be dealing with all that passion. Moon sextile Mars can make you impulsive towards the ways you react and respond to your emotion, and it's transiting Cancer. Mars don't even really deal with Cancer energy like that. No, Mars don't like, is debilitated in Cancer, period. It's sleep, is actually in its fall state, excuse me. It's in its fall state. Saturn debilitating Cancer. But yeah, so we could kind of take things to the heart with moon sextile Mars, especially when it comes to our intentions, things we passionate about. So as much passion as we have, be careful of that. And when it opposes Pluto, now this is going to put us in an energy where we start to reflect. We subconsciously react to how we need to adjust our desires, certain errors and things that we need to fix, because Pluto deal with expiration dates, transformation. So moon opposite, we got to learn to react and respond to what is it that we need to transform. All right, certain things that need expiration dates, what we need to cut off, what we need to evolve from, what is a person, place, or thing. But also connecting to that Capricorn energy, responsibilities, things that help you deal with stability, responsibility. All of them things, people, places, and things that disturbing what you're trying to transform in that area with Pluto and Capricorn. That's what we about to be reacting and responding to in the evening. So this is with Mars hitting the moon like this and Pluto hitting the moon like this, and it being in Cancer, where we're gonna be influenced to react and respond to the way we feel. And it's cardinal, so we want to change the vibe or give the vibe if we ain't feeling the vibe. This is not a time to be super going back and forth with people you don't know. This is not a time to, this week is not a time to think you could play mind games with people or let situations go a little step ahead than they were supposed to. This is not the week for that. it could get a little crazy. And once again, this is the last week of the moon waxing until it hits its full moon peak. So the emotions is already high this week. So yeah, this is a whole lot of passion. This is a whole boost for that. This is a whole boost towards our self-esteem and our confidence throughout the week, and in a real creative way too. That's definitely the positive spectrum. But easily impulsive with the emotions and how we react and respond to things, take things personal with this Cancer-like energy. Mars hitting Cancer like this, all right? Because Mars already deal with vulnerability. Cancer deal with some vulnerability, reacting and responding to the emotions, all right? So that alignment could play out that energy. And then now we have opposite Pluto. So we got to learn to be, when it comes to our desires, and I could say Pluto also is more of a evolved Mars, so it's still going to deal with Mars-like energy, your passions. You got to be easy. People could easily step on people's toes this week. People take things to the heart. You take things to the heart this week. I take things to the heart this week. So, got to be wise in that area. Now, shit, on, so that's what we're dealing with on Tuesday. All right. It can also be a hot, passionate night for you and your loved ones. I just got to throw that in as a lucky Libra. Mind be on relationships and connecting. So all this Mars energy hitting the moon. All right. So nice night to spice things up, man. I'm going to just throw that out there as your favorite astrologer. Now, Wednesday, February 24th, the moon enters Leo. All right, so it's getting up in Leo early, 7:23 a.m. Now, this is the thing about the moon transit in Leo. We're still dealing with a lot of energies in Aquarius, a.k.a. Saturn, a.k.a. Mercury, a.k.a. Jupiter. All right. So with these planets sitting in Aquarius, the moon through Leo energy is still going to be opposite all these Aquarius energies. So we dealing with a huge surge of creativity and wanting to connect to our imagination and seeing how we could bring it down to reality or cultivate it. But we initiating the connection right now, though. All right, we're strengthening the connection between our creativity and our subconscious. But at the same time, we know Leo deals with our creativity. When the moon enters Leo, we want to react and respond to ways of expressing ourselves because it's in fire, but especially how we could creatively, artistically express ourselves, especially how we can have our emotions seen for something, because Leo's is fire. So fire signs take what they see, their visions or what they feel, and they put it into a shape, a form. That's why they're creative, because it's expressed in some type of shape or form. That's why it could be dynamic expression, dramatic expression. More specifically, Leo's, but all fire signs could play out drama. Leo's just emphasize that motherfucker because they rule by the sun. Early Aries could be dramatic as a motherfucker too. Sagittarius could be all you motherfuckers. All right, but when we talk about Leo though, this is what we want to react and respond to. Leos take that feeling, that vision, and they do something creative with it. Taking your visions and how you feel about something and creating something, that's creativity, period. But when we talk about Leos, that's what they bent on doing. That's what they fixed on doing. But they also could, assume that they're going to deal with certain reactions or whatnot to certain energies based off the way they see things, because the sun going to see shit the way the sun wants to see it. All right? So with the moon entering this energy, it starts to put us in more of a expressive and push out energy with our creativity, but also how we feel. So this is also us putting our emotions on the stage too, highlighting our emotions and how we feel about things with the moon transit in Leo. And when it enters Leo at 7:23, shit, towards noon, that shit gonna be square. And by noon is gonna be opposite Saturn, Pluto, and Mercury, and squaring Uranus. So the moon opposite Saturn, us learning to react and respond more to our stabilities and more realistic ways of dealing with, our associations and our relationships. Moon opposite Pluto, like we already spoke about that we coming into that one on Tuesday evening. Then we got moon opposite Mercury, us having to react and respond to the way we communicate and relate to others, all right? Not just being about how we feel about things so much, because we got to learn to react and respond to that. So we dealing with heavy water with sun in Pisces, and now with moon and Leo, more feeling, but now it's opposite Mercury. So the way we feel compelled to express, push off, give people an expression about things, relate our emotion at the same time as opposite Mercury. So it's like, damn, I got to pace myself to articulate how I do these things or express these things. And these energies are fire is fast, Mercury fast. So We just said we could take things impulsive some time throughout the week, and it could build up to a taking things personal energy. And now with things hitting Mercury and all these energies opposite in the air, we could be real expressive in our relationships. Cancers and Leos both could take things personal a lot. And this comes from a motherfucker that deal with that shit. All right, I got Moon in the first house, so Moon in the first house, people could be some of the most selfish motherfuckers in the world. All right, everything about you. Your mind is always, you always react to respond and think about you. So I got to point out the energies that got to understand. You can't be taking things personal all the time. And the Cancers and Leos, y'all being ruled by the moon and the sun. Yes, things can be taken personal a lot of the time. And this is the energy we gonna be dealing with towards the end of the week. So we gotta be easy with that. And it's gonna play out with relationships a lot of the time, or most of the time throughout the week, because it's in Aquarius. It's gonna play out with some of your coworkers. Okay? To be honest, it just sounds like a week to just isolate. Yeah, but we still got a lot of energies that's dealing with relating your creativity. So it's just making sure we don't put ourselves in environments where we're either stepping on people's toes. We have to keep in mind, regardless of all these transits, the moon is hitting a full peak by the weekend. So emotions is high for the world, period. So we don't want to do too much because we don't even know what other people are ready to release on other motherfuckers, and then we end up catching the release. It's like, damn, that shit wasn't even for me. I pulled over, motherfucker didn't let me get in the second lane. I pulled over on this motherfucker in the corner. We turned the whole argument turned into a motherfucking fight and shit. He kicked my ass, I ain't gonna lie. But that ass whooping came from something else. That shit was not the ass whooping from us arguing the street. He whooped my ass because he's arguing with his wife. He got fired. The emotions of the world is high. So this is why you gotta chill on that last waxing week leading up to the full moon. And when the full moon is out, shit, you definitely want to know what sign is in so you don't overdo that motherfucker. You definitely want to know, okay? And it's going to be in Virgo. So somebody's going to get into a fight. Somebody getting shot. Somebody getting smacked. Somebody getting into a huge, heavy argument over being critiqued too much. Over a detailed-ass debate. It's sad, but it's going to happen this weekend. It's the world. It's just what it is. So this is why we doing this shit. So we know how to spiritually prep. You feel me? That's the advantage you got when you into spirituality. Shit. We step outside the body. All right? We step outside the body and perceive this world through energies. Through frequency vibrations. Through the motion of things. Through our experiences. And then let me get back in my body. I see how to adjust myself. That's what spirituality is. If you ain't on your spiritual path, you just getting moved around. Like your body you just in the mix. You feel me? Yeah. So, motherfucker, yeah, opposite Mercury. God damn, this is gonna be a funny week. And on my Patreon, I'm usually doing more reactions to current events. I live under a cave, y'all, so I live under a rock. So if it ain't, the only things that I be paying attention to when it comes to politics is what's thrown at my face and shit, and through thumbnails on YouTube, or just what's sent to me, or what I see some of my other favorite astrologers, you feel me, and colleagues breaking down and shit. But for the most part, you feel me, I'm gonna start just bringing up more shit, current events through these Boroscope transits, you feel me, because it's just somebody gonna fall into it's just always a bunch of spirits gonna fall into the full moon traps. All right, full moons is always gonna play out as heavy releases, but at the same time, with me saying heavy releases, is a polarity to everything. Is a balance to everything. So it could be situations right now, for example, somebody being taken advantage of in a relationship. Somebody taken advantage of. Pinning up too much goddamn emotion. Pinning up too much things that they should have expressed. That could have helped level out the relationship. And then when we come around full moon time, a motherfucker gonna have some courage because it's too much. It's too much emotion pent up. It has to release. So that release can play out catastrophic a lot of the times, transformative, chaotic. But that release at the end of the day is a release. Just like when you take a number one and a number two is a release. And what do you feel after a release? A relief. So these releases be needed during full moon times at the same time. But because it's so pent up, the way it's connected or expressed could just be too over the tip. It's too much. It came out in extreme. And that's why it's transformative. So this is why we always want to follow the moon to see what we're reacting and responding to. So we know how to keep our emotions level. We know how to keep our vibe level. So when we get to new moon, new cycle, when universe providing us that opportunity to reset emotionally, to see where we want to set new intentions, to see what we want to newly experience, what new direction we want to set for ourselves, or what we want to continue making progress with, what we want to add on to what we're making progress with. That's new moon time. That's what universe wants us to do. That's literally what universe is influencing us to do. But if you ain't following the moons, if you ain't keeping up with the time spiritually, esoterically, and the vibe wise, new moon times, it's hard to even do all of that because you dealing with so much. Yo, bro, as a Libra, do you find that you do that thing that water signs do, where you reflect whoever you're with? Yeah, that's that. Yeah, like I'm a Libra, so as a Libra, we be thinking every sign got psychic powers. Libra's psychic powers is knowing how other people are gonna communicate or relate about things. Like, just if you're a Libra, you already be knowing how your friends is gonna respond to something, how your mom and your father gonna respond to something, how your partner about to respond about something. You already know how you pick up this data quick. So it's like, yeah, like I be having to not see things from other people's point of view a lot of the times. Air signs have to make sure they do this, but Libras probably do this the most. No, Libras do this the most. That probably, excuse me, they do this the most. All right, so I don't even know where we at, but I know it was probably talking about the energies. So we got Moon square and Uranus on top of all these oppositions. Uranus deal with our individuality. We got Uranus in Taurus. Uranus deal with our individuality, how we cultivate that, to express that to the world, to play our individual role in the world, to have that respected and honored, and also could bring transformation. Uranus is chaotic. Okay, Uranus don't deal with authority. It is the authority. It is power. Okay, so he knew I was gonna say something. Response. Yeah, that's the Libra thing. You feel me? That's the Libra thing. But Libras do that shit so much. God, so much times is like Libras do so much that take them away from what they self identity is. Like, if you are a Libra or you have heavy Libra placements, you here to karmically build your self identity. You have heavy placements on that Aries Libra axis, especially if it's Aries North Node, North and South nodes on that fall on that axis. You have a lot to do in this lifetime with finding balance between. It deciphers in different way. I'll have to see exactly what certain alignments and shit, but a lot of times it's going to deal with you finding the balance between your relationships and your individuality. You too individual, and you need to learn to balance that shit, or you too much into the world and into other people's shit and relating to others and seeing things from other people's point of view. And your self identity need work this lifetime. So that's what we dealing with. With the Moon square and Uranus, we have to learn to react and respond to using Leo energy creative ways to express our individuality. We have to really see. Leo deal with seeing, fire deal with seeing. So with the Moon transit in Leo and squaring Uranus, we have to be able to see that creativity in us and understand that creativity that we see in us. That shit ain't got shit to do with the world. That shit ain't got shit to do with nobody else doing. That's your creativity. That's what you can manifest. That's what you could envision. I mean, that's what you can cultivate out of your vision. That's what we got to understand with this Moon square and Uranus on top of all these oppositions. So we're going to deal with a lot of new visions, new awareness when it comes to Leo energy, creativity, when it comes to how we can express it, a lot of visions of us being seen. We're going to be seeing the potential of us expressing ourselves a certain ways, the potential of us dealing with our creativity, with all this daydreaming energy on influencing creativity, especially with this Leo through moon transit. But there's going to be a lot of ideas that you think about during this week that's going to make you, or situations you might manifest with your relationships or in career life or whatnot, especially depending where you have Libra and Taurus in your chart. But the fact that Uranus is in Taurus, it's going to be a lot of situations that make you realize you ain't using your creativity to be an individual. That's what we're going to be realizing with Moon Square in Uranus. So if you got Moon Square Uranus in your chart, that's what you learn in this lifetime. You have to find the individual pockets to place your creativity in, not get it aligned with everybody else. You get your creativity aligned with the collective in this lifetime by you just individually pushing out, and whatever that attracts is that what attracts from that. All right. So this is what we're gonna have to be able to break down in our head and get in motion with. And if you're not in that energy of honing in on your individuality and what creative gifts that you have in some type of shape or form, you're going to manifest feelings, thoughts, or situations, experiences to help you learn how to align this, help you learn how to see these things, how to put it together. All right. And then towards the night, Jupiter going to be thrown in that opposition. All right, so we got Jupiter, the whole conjunction, everybody in Aquarius, all our relationships, all our relationship experiences with our co-workers, things that we doing with our businesses and networking and social media and how we relate to others. All of that is gonna come into clash with things that we want to personally be into. All of that gonna come into clash in some type of shape or form with things that we want to react and respond to and express. And some of the visions we have. As soon as we have a fucking creative vision on Wednesday, what's this, Wednesday? As soon as we have a creative vision of somebody calling you with the energies play out like that. Like, you will be jumping into Leo square, a motherfucking Uranus. Leo opposite all these energies in Aquarius, dealing with people, relationships. You feel me? Your associations, your organizations you may be a part of, places that you have to be in the external realm. In some type of shape or form, you're going to have to find a way to align this bullshit with some of the shit that you just have to be connected to at times. With people that's in your 11th house, people that's like related to your 11th house space, like they not in your first house, they not personal, they not in your second house, you don't value them, not in your third house, they not familiar to you, they're not from your neighborhood, not an old time friend, not in your fourth house, you're not emotionally connected to them. Feel me? So not in your seventh house, you do have a one-on-one connection. You might have one-on-one connection with some of these people or whatever, but it's just be business shit. Feel me? Is shit that you got to do in the external realm. So a lot of that shit going to distract shit that we want to connect to. Things that we may want to start to embark on with the moon trans and Leo. So pace yourself, especially when expressing yourself to others, all right? Pace yourself, especially when expressing yourself to others this week with these energies. Because there's a lot of energies that got us fired up. Fired up for our creativity, though. Passionate for our creativity. Emotional over our creativity. All right. Thursday, February 25th. All right. We're going to spend a day with the moon in Leo, and it's still going to be opposite everybody in Aquarius, but Venus moves into Pisces. All right. So we know when Venus moves into Pisces, this is where Venus loves to be. This is Venus's exaltation point. All right, we know planets when they're exalted, this is where they're at their most powerful positions besides their home placements. This is a place that they love to be when they're not home in their exaltation place. And this is a place where a motherfucker feel like they could do whatever the fuck in the world. This is the God energy. This is the highest peak of an energy of a planet. So on the planet, when you're with your exaltation placements, people be losing their mind with their exaltation placements. It sound all powerful and gifted, and people lose their mind with their exaltation placements. Because with great power come great responsibility. So, yeah, it's a gift. Yeah, you manifested a power from the previous lifetime when it comes to your exaltation placements, aka Sun in Aries, aka Venus in Taurus, aka Jupiter in Cancer, or Mars in the first house. Venus in Taurus, Venus in the second house. Moon in Cancer, Moon in the fourth house. All right? Mercury in Virgo, Mercury in the sixth house. Saturn in Libra, Saturn in seventh house. All right? Pluto in the first house. We gonna dive into a video dealing with the exaltations for the generational placements because a lot of people are starting to say different things. I wonder if you consider Venus in the 12th. Yes, Venus in the 12th, Venus in Pisces. You see how that's why I went back and started doing it again because you could just place them with the sign or the house. So the sun is exalted in the first house, exalted in Aries. Uh, Mars in Capricorn. Mars in Capricorn. Mars in the 10th house. Motherfucking and Venus in Pisces. You know, Venus in 12th house. Now look at all these signs. It don't matter if you have Venus in Pisces. As a Pisces, if you're a Pisces sun, you overdo love energy because your exaltation is also a place that energy that you overdo, that you can you can become exhausted with your power. So you got to learn how to moderate that motherfucker. You got to learn how to great power come great responsibility. All these movies that we watch, all these superheroes and everything, they have to learn to cultivate the responsibility of their powers and their gifts. Is the same thing with these type of placements or your home placements, but especially exaltations. So when we look at just a Pisces is naturally gonna have the archetype of exalted Venus. So they're gonna have the power of dealing with, you know, their creativity, but how they value it, how they deal with love and connecting and relating to others. They're already gonna have a innate subconscious of how to deal with them energies. The sun is exalted in Aries, so Aries is already. You don't have to be you could be an Aries moon. That energy still influences how you react and respond to the energy. I didn't want to say Aries because if you're Aries, the sun is exalted there. But if you are Aries, if you got the sun in Aries and your sun is exalted, this is why Aries. This is why we look at them for how they express themselves. Like, damn, that's a motherfucker that know how to act and just do what the fuck they want to do without giving a fuck about what we give a fuck about. I wish I could do that shit. That's what they teach us with their sun being in Aries. Aries is cardinal fire, is the initiative of how you express or act on things. So when the sun is there, it's like, oh yeah, we on go time. Like, I don't mind being in Leo. That's my spot. That's my pad. All right. It's the flyest pad in the zodiac. I wish somebody tried to argue. That's how the Leo constellation. I wish somebody tried to say they house flyer in the 5th house. Pisces be trying to have that. The 12th house be trying to have that competition with me. 2nd house be trying to have that competition with me too. 2nd house be trying to have that competition with me having the flyest pad. That's probably where the competition peaked. I say between 5th and 2nd house, they be competing for who got the flyest pad. It depends what you define as internal and external power between them two. But I see what you mean because Mars is the feminine version of Scorpio and Mars is the external of Aries. It is the push out the masculine. So, you know, but they both could channel. They both channel that Mars. They gonna channel Mars. Period. All right. But back into the energies. All right. So Venus gets into Pisces. So with Venus being in Pisces, being exalted, now we're all feeling like making sure we bring some appreciation, some support, some love to our dreams, to how we deal with our creativity, to how we cultivate our creativity, to how we connect and consider the emotion of others, to how we value our imagination and our subconscious and our dreams and our fantasies. Venus is coming here to bring a new self-esteem to all of that. All right? So, creativity boost, once again, self-esteem boost, Venus in Pisces, illusion boost. Illusion boost. Why is it just an illusion boost? Not just because it's getting into Pisces, but what is Venus? Venus is what we value, what we love. And Venus is also your pleasures. Venus is also your pleasures. So we in a state right now where Venus getting into Pisces. If we could think about it, see it, we trying to connect to it. If it looked like it could make us feel good, we trying to connect to it. And we got illusions, and that's creating illusions left and right. That's illusions left and right. So we're gonna have to be conscious of how we deal with that energy. But love is in the air. Intimacy is in the air. People want to connect intimately. And another thing about Venus being in the 12th house space, Venus was just, when Venus is transiting Capricorn, Aquarius, them two transits is dealing with seeing the reality to its love. It's dealing with seeing a reality to its love and how it relates. All right, how it deals with its emotions. So now that it's getting into Pisces, it's letting its guard down. So we could be letting our guard down for the wrong motherfuckers at this time, just because the feel of connecting feels that much better. Venus and Pisces can truly let their guard down. Venus and Pisces, big ass heart, big ass compassionate heart, could be wounded like a motherfucker in this lifetime, being that open. Axe of Pisces, Axe of Pisces moon, Axe of Venus and Pisces, Axe of Venus in 12th house. Also, why they develop so much goddamn wisdom too, though. Any heavy planets in Venus in Pisces or 12th house is going to develop some wisdom because it's going through some experiences with Jupiter in there. All right. So, yeah, I was just joking about Valentine's Day being Aquarius season. It's like America know how to set motherfuckers up. They know how to set motherfuckers up, man. So, you know, the powers that be worship Saturn. They worship Saturn. They worship making shit concrete and stable and put into boxes and in time. All right. That's why they sentence motherfuckers with a lot of time. All right. So everything is limited here. Speed limits, laws, heavy Saturn energy here. All right. So the new year for them, for the powers that be, for the people that constructed the calendar and whatnot that we for them, they wanted the new year to be Capricorn season. It's like, all right, we're gonna roll with this motherfucking Saturn energy. All right, we're gonna roll with this. We're gonna have everybody thinking this is the real new year. This is really our shit. So when the rest of the world practice the new year, they really supporting our shit. And let's bring this shit back to some esoteric energy, family. We got the real new year in after Pisces season, all right? Spring equinox. So like let's stay in alignment. You feel me? So that's what energy we dealing with Venus moving into Pisces. All right, I'm gonna do a Venus and Pisces reading. All the readings is going live now. All right, if I ain't making a video or I was during retrograde, during Mercury shadow period and Mercury retrograde, like so much things with my new setup. It's like when it came to like deliveries for things that I needed, because I was gonna set up with my webcam. Right now I'm going live on YouTube off my phone. I was gonna set up with my webcam, but I needed an adapter so the camera don't die while I'm live streaming, and I'm switching batteries and then starting new streams. End up ordering the wrong one. Had to send that back, so I'm like, damn, because my laptop camera is booty, it's ass. So it's like I wasn't using that shit. You feel me? And then my phone, yeah, like I had to get a whole new what's the name? A whole new what you call it for my phone to even go live. Like not a stand, but it was a couple of things. It was just a couple of things that was holding me back from going live. So I just had to basically make videos and get them up there. But when it comes to all readings through the houses, readings, new sides, all we live streaming all that, y'all. We live streaming all that. All right. So Venus and Pisces, I'm gonna have that reading out before Thursday, before Venus gets up in there. Okay, and I didn't get a chance to post it before I got on live, but I'll be posting the sun transit in the houses for Pisces season. All right, it's been a busy end of 2021 over here for a Cap moon. All right, but that's how we like it. That's how we like it. Moon in Leo will oppose Venus. This is Thursday evening. Moon in Leo will oppose Venus towards the night. and square Mars in late degrees of Taurus. So as soon as Venus moves into Pisces, is moving into that cuspy energy and is jumping into a square with Mars. So we're gonna have what we passionate about, and what we love coming into clashes. Some things that we've already set intentions on that we've been working on in some type of shape or form. Relationships or people surrounding that area of what we may be working on or what we value may clash with something we may love, something we may be wanting to connect to. All right. Um, and whenever we got Venus and Mars clashing opposite, this is big brother and big sister. So it's a high energy. You could just think about if you're a feel me, if you're a female and you have a brother, you know, and y'all was arguing in the house, I'm sure the whole house heard that shit. If you a male and you have a sister and y'all was arguing in the house, I'm sure the whole house heard that shit when you got Mars and Venus arguing. Okay, it's a lot of emotion. It ain't gonna be like Earth and Mercury arguing. Earth and Mercury arguing, you just break that shit up, bro. Man, you. All right, there we go. Bro, your shoulders looking broad as hell. Yeah, I do calisthenics. That's all I fuck with. But so for the most part, yeah, Mars square Venus. You got Mars square Venus in your chart. A lot of times, your passions and what you try to connect to on the pleasurable side of life, them things be clashing. What you may be wanting to set a lot of intentions on life, or you have a lot of desires about, or you're goal oriented with, it may clash with some relationships. It may clash with your form of relating. Venus and Mars compromise. There's somebody that has to learn how to align their passions, they have to understand that they ambition and their passions and their willpower to do things in life can step on the toes of others at times, and they have to be considerate of the environment at reasonable times. Mars and Venus squaring opposite have to learn this. So when it comes to us dealing with that energy, as soon as Venus jumps into Pisces, it's already gonna like, all right, let's get it. It's gonna be 0 degrees, so it ain't gonna be fully in the constellation until it's 3 degrees. But it getting into that 0 degree energy, as soon as it picks more up on Pisces, the minute we want to express or connect to something, we may deal with a little clash in some type of way from some Mars energy. All right, so we want to make sure are in a we stay in a more compromising energy, because we still dealing with energies that can make us impulsive. Period. Mars and Venus alone can be a high emotion expression type of energy. Now, and then we also gonna have. I'm bugging. I got the tones. We also gonna have, what's the name? The moon is gonna also square. Excuse me. We're gonna have Moon in Leo opposing Venus. All right, towards the night, and square Mars. Yeah, and square Mars in the late degrees of Taurus. Yeah, okay. So yeah, also the moon opposing Venus. Not only just square Mars, but opposing Venus. So even connecting to others. As soon as Venus gets into Pisces, the moon is gonna be dealing with some connection issues, but it's gonna want to connect. We value and appreciate and connected, but we may deal with some construction, trying to make sure our emotions are getting on the same page with the people that we're dealing with. So this is the energy that's gonna bring clashes, but both parties, most of the part, are gonna be putting effort to make sure they're agreeing to disagree more than just, burning out on each other. But we still dealing with a waxing energy. We still dealing with a full moon, and this is Thursday. Damn. So yeah, family, be careful this week. Be careful with all these energies dealing with our feelings clashing. Now, Friday, February 26th, okay, the moon moves into Virgo mid-afternoon. So we know when the moon is getting ready to be at its full peak, it's going to be opposite. It's going to be opposite the sun. All right. New moons are conjunct. Full moons are opposite. So I said earlier in the other live stream that we had a new moon in Leo. Excuse me. That we had a new moon in Aquarius. I'm bugging out. We had a full moon in Leo. So yeah. So we got the moon moving into Virgo. I was breaking down that Virgo full moon energy earlier in the live stream. All right. I'm going to be dropping a reading for that. But when we talking about the moon transiting Virgo, this is us reacting and responding to how efficient we are with creating containers and a foundation and strategies and routines for dealing with our creativity, for dealing with what's in our dreams and our imagination. Full moons, we got to get these opposites on the same page. All right, we got to get that high emotion that's going to be pent up in that sign in Virgo, and we got to find ways for that to support what we're paying attention to in with the sun in Pisces. So we're gonna dig into that on Friday. The moon is also going to trine Uranus. So as soon as the moon moves into Virgo, we gain support with it trining Uranus. You know, Uranus deal with your individuality. So there's gonna be opportunities to exert your individuality and for you to react and respond to others, for people to see where you unique at, where you different at in a positive light. These opportunities are going to show up in the areas of life uh, that you have Taurus in and that you have Virgo in. Okay, and then we also going to have on Friday Venus sextile Uranus. So not only do we have the moon trining Uranus, opportunities to relate our individuality, we're having Venus sextile in it. So in some type of shape or form, we're going to attract support, and in some type of shape or form, universe going to utilize a person, place, or thing, all right, to show you how to appreciate your individuality. It's going to, once again, I said we're dealing with like a self-esteem boost throughout the week, seeing what we really made of, seeing our self-worth. And then when we get into Saturday, February 27th, okay, that's when we're dealing with the full moon peak. The full moon is going to peak at 19 degrees Virgo, all right, and this is going to be around a couple of minutes after 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, so around 8:03 p.m., the moon is going to hit 19 degrees and hit its full moon peak. So the moon will be directly opposite the moon, the sun. Not directly opposite, but it's going to be, it's going to be 19 degrees. So it's going to be opposite the sun. It's also going to be opposite Neptune. All right, so Neptune is going to be around, Neptune's 20 degrees now, maybe like 21 degrees or something. By that time, 22 degrees maybe. And it's also going to be moon trine Pluto. All right. So the full moon being at the peak energy, we're reacting and responding to Virgo. All right. Trying to gain more of a foundation and realistic view for how we can support our creativity and our imagination, for how we could support the potential that we see in ourselves, how we could support, all right, our dreams, and how we could follow that up with some type of routine and schedule, seeing what needs to get taken out of our routine or schedule. Full moons deal with detaching and releasing. So it's going to be a lot of tidying up when it comes to our relationships, what we surrounded by, what we working on, what we using. It's time to tune that shit up with some reality with the full moon in Virgo if we really want to get our dreams from point A to B. This is what universe wants us to do. All right. So doing so, not only is the moon going to be opposing the sun, we got moon opposing Neptune. So this is also learning how to react and respond to our imagination, our creative source, aka understanding the creative source within us that we have to offer to the world, and not feeling like it has to be picked up on anything external. Neptune and Pisces about us, you understanding this generational transit right now is about us understanding that we don't we could stimulate our own creativity, and we don't need to be lost in any ways in the world to feel like things need to stimulate us. We stimulate the world by what we bring into it individually. So we always want to look at self. We always want to look at what we've always been creatively into. We always want to look at what we could draw, what we could make into a shape or form, what we be daydreaming about. Neptune is tapping us all into that energy. So with moon opposite this energy from Virgo is also seeing how we could give Neptune some support, but some reality support. Neptune want to bring some dreams down here, and we really need to see how to do this in an efficient way. So this is moon opposite Neptune, and then moon trine Pluto. So it's going to be opportunities for transformation. So this full moon ain't no motherfucking game. A full moon of trining Pluto. Trines are positive aspects, right? They're harmonious aspects because they create opportunities. Opportunity could be a bad thing. You could have opportunities to it's Pluto. Pluto deals with transformation. Pluto deals with rules the underworld. It deals with your deep desires. It deals with death, you know, which the frequency vibration of death is really just transformation. So we know full moons on its own could be transformative. So with it trying to Pluto at its peak, we have to be careful of how we go about overdoing Virgo energy. That would be overdoing criticizing. That would be overdoing how you diving into deep thought about something, because Virgo dealing with practicality. So you diving into deep ass thought about something dealing with reality may compel you to want to react in a certain way. You trying to dive into communication to drain the detail out of somebody for something, and they telling you I'm expressing everything to you. I'm expressing how I feel, what I think. Like, can you relax? Like all that energy, we gotta mac on that. We gotta relax on that energy. All right. So I'm gonna drop the full moon reading. All right, throughout the week. So family, let's start the week with this charge. All right. We got the sun and moon. We walk into a sun and moon, and the moon just hit Cancer. All right. So it's time to really cater to your emotional well-being, and we're gonna have transits that influence us to understand that we're going to be comfortable making sure that we're on top of our passions, that we're on top of the things that we want to creatively express and will into the world. These things is always going to help us be comfortable. So we starting the week with this type of emphasis. All right, y'all. So y'all already know what it is, family. Y'all already know what it is. Like I always say, it's the Lucky Libra tuning in and tuning out. Yeah, make sure y'all check out the Patreon, and make sure to check out my website to connect with the Lucky Libra. Until then, family, peace.